Hi guys, Andy here again from Mad Lad Designs, continuing the playthrough of Dungeon Command. Curse of the Undeath versus the Sting of Lolth. So let's get right to it and begin with the Undead's turn. And Morgana is going to tell the Lich Necromancer to activate first. And that Lich Necromancer is going to move. No, he's not going to move. But he is going to attack with 20 points of melee damage to the Drow Priestess. So let's see if the Drow have any order cards to see if they can prevent that damage. Let's have a look. No, that's a minor. Can't have that one, that's a standard. That's also a standard. That's a standard. No, we don't have anything to prevent that damage. So, the Drow Priestess is going to take 20 points of damage. So that is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 points worth of damage on her. And she only has 60 hit points. So another hit, and I think that Drow Priestess is dead. However, he isn't finished there, the Necromancer. He is going to use Dimension Door. Place this creature in any square within 9 squares. We need 4 intelligence. The Lich Necromancer has 5 intelligence. But I'm not sure whether you can move a creature if it's next to an enemy. Okay, I've looked on Board Game Geek, I couldn't see it. I've asked the question, I'm still waiting for a reply. Can a creature use this and move if it's next to an enemy creature? If you guys know, if you want to let me know in the comments. But for this playthrough, I'm going to assume it can. Because it says it does not need line of sight to the target square. So it can actually move through a wall if it wanted to. Over here maybe somewhere. So I'm assuming you can move if you're next to an enemy creature. So we're going to use that one. It's a minor, so it doesn't cost any actions to use it. And the Lich Necromancer is going to move right there. So that ends the Lich Necromancer's turn. Next we are going to move on to the Hypnotic Spirit. And instead of doing her standard attack, she's actually going to use this card. Death Grip. Anybody can use it. Requires Undead. Hypnotic Spirit is Undead and Spirit. Make a melee attack that deals the damage, adding plus 10 for each other undead creature you control that is adjacent to the target. Which is why the Lich Necromancer moved. So Hypnotic Spirit is going to deal 20 damage to the Drider. And I don't think, from what I can remember, there was nothing to prevent that damage. Minor, minor, standard, standard, standard. No. So the Drider is going to take 20 points of damage, plus, due to Death Grip, here we go, an extra 10 for each creature, each undead creature next to that target. So we have 20, 30, 40, 50. I'm afraid the Drider is going to take 50 points of damage. Let me just double check that. 20 for the Hypnotic Spirit, plus 10 for each creature adjacent to it. 20, 30, 40, 50. So the Drider, I'm afraid, is going to take a whopping 50 points of damage. Only 10 points away from being killed. Next up we are going to use our zombie. And our zombie is going to attack the Drider. Nothing the Drider can do about it. We don't have any order cards that will prevent the damage, which is 10 points of damage. Another 10 points on the Drider. 100 points worth of damage. The Drider is dead. The Drider was worth 4 morale points, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Alessandra is now down to 11 morale. And of course, the Drider is no more. So next up we have the Gravehound. So our Gravehound is actually going to move and attack our Demon Web Spider for 10 points of damage. That Demon Web Spider already has 10 points of damage on it, and it only has 20 hit points. So that Demon Web Spider is destroyed, because as we know, there are no order cards that the Drow can use. Okay, so it already had 10 points on. That was already there. I'm not going to put another 10 on just to take it off. So there goes the Demon Web Spider, level 1. 1 more morale gets taken off. So Alessandra had gone from 15 morale all the way down to 10 morale, which is now exactly the same as Morgana. And now we move on to our deploy phase, where Morgana's leadership moves up 1 from 12 to 13, and we can put creatures on the board if we can. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points worth of creatures on the board. So we can put a level 2 creature out, and Morgana is indeed going to bring a level 2 creature out. A warrior skeleton. Okay. So I will grab a warrior skeleton and bring it out. And remember, we do have the Lich Necromancer, whose special ability is that when we bring out an undead, we can place it adjacent to the Lich Necromancer. So do we want to do that? Well, here is our skeletal warrior. There he is. So where should we bring him out? We will bring him out adjacent to the Lich. There, I think. Right, so that is the deployment phase over with. We go to the cleanup phase. Resolve any end of turn effects. We don't have any end of turn effects. Draw back up to our creature hand. Well, Morgana now has 2 creatures in her hand. Her hand is 3, so I'm going to draw another one. Let's see what I've picked. And then we untap all our creatures. So I think that's it for the undead turn. And what a turn it was. Took up the Drider and the Demon Web Spider all in one go. So it looks like now the undead is overwhelming the Drow. But next up is the Drow's turn. So Alessandra, what are you going to do? Well, first up for the Drow is going to be the Drow House Guard, which is over there. And what we are going to use is we're going to use this. A spring attack as his standard action. The Drow House Guard has 2 dexterity, so you can use this. So he's going to run 6 squares, make an attack, and then run off again 6 squares. Okay, so he's going to run 6 squares, and he's going to go 1, 2, 3. Make an attack on the hypnotic spirit. Now, does the undead have anything to stop that? Just let me take a look. Nope, there's nothing there to stop that attack from the house guard. So the hypnotic spirit was going to take damage from the Drow house guard. However, if we look here, I can tap this creature to prevent all damage to this creature from one source. So unfortunately, the hypnotic spirit does not take any damage. But because we were using that spring attack, the house guard has 6 more movement spaces he can do. So he is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and stay right there. Okay, so that was the house guard's turn. We move on to the Drow priestess. So what is the priestess going to do? Well, first of all, she's going to use this miner. Stalk. Level 1 dex. She is a level 2. And she can shift 6 squares. Okay, so remember this doesn't cost any actions, so she still has a move and attack action even after doing this. So she's going to shift 6 squares. To there. And then she's going to use something else as a standard action, because she has 3 decks. Shift 2 squares and make a melee attack that deals 50 damage. Okay, right, she doesn't have to shift the 2 squares if she doesn't want to. You can skip anything that you don't want to do on these cards. So she's not going to do the shift 2 squares, but she's going to make a melee attack of 50 damage against the skeleton, who just happens to have 50 hit points. So she's going to take that skeleton right out just as he's come on. Okay, and as we know, the undead do not have any order cards to stop it, so that skeleton that's just come on has been destroyed, which means Morgana is going to take a hit of 2 morale points. And lastly, we have our demon web spider, who can move 7, but with Alessandra's walls of web can actually move 9. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Heading for more treasure. And there's nothing the demon web spider can do. Let me just check our... These are the only order cards we have left. We can't play any of these because the spider only has 1 dex. Okay. So that is the end of the activation phase. We move on to the deployment phase. Alessandra's leadership goes up by 1. So now we have 13 points worth of creatures to put on the board. At the moment we have 3, 4, 5, 6. So I think that is that 7 points? 7 points worth of creatures to put on the board. Well, what can we put on? 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. We can't put them 2 on because that's 8. We can have the Umber Hulk. So what should we go for? Should we go for the numbers? Getting 2 on, or should we go for the big fella? Oh. Let's go for the big fella. Let's get the big one out. So I can pull creatures towards me, or well, the Umber Hulk can. Right. So let's get that Umber Hulk on the board. I'll put him there. I'll put him there because he has the special ability Burrow, which means he ignores all walls and all terrain types, but he can't end in a wall. So he can just basically burrow right through that black wall. So we have our Umber Hulk out. That is the end of our deployment phase. Next we have the cleanup phase. We untap all our creatures, do any end of turn effects, and draw back up to our creature hand, which is 4. We have 3 creatures in our hand. So our new creature we're going to look at is another Drow House Guard. So we have our 4 creatures. Now there's something I forgot to do at the start of each turn, and that was grab an order card. So I was supposed to grab an order card for the Undead right at the beginning of the turn, which I didn't, and for the Drow as well, which I didn't. Okay, so those will come in handy for next turn. Right, I think that's it, guys. Both sides have taken their turn. So until the next episode, I will catch you guys later.